Hey guys, today going for something a little bit different. We're going to go for a ride around the centre of Madrid. As always, here's a little overview of the route. So we're going to start here in Plaza España. Then we're going to swing a right, head up Gran Via, swing a right again, and then go towards La Latina and finishing up just down at a nice park. Today I'm out on my Razesa, which is a late 80s hand-built steel frame from Spain. I'll show you the bike a little bit later on as well, give you a little tour of the parts. Not quite a full bike check, we're not at that level yet, but in a few videos time I'm sure I'll give you the full breakdown of the bike. So I'm actually going to try and speak a little bit less in this video and just kind of leave you to enjoy the sounds and the sights of the city. I won't abandon you though, don't worry, I'm going to check in here and there and point out some of the landmarks of the city. Additionally, this was actually a test for my chest mount. Not perfect, not super happy with it, but it does improve throughout the video, so please do bear with me. We're now just heading up Gran Via, which is like the main sort of commercial street in Madrid, one of the central landmarks of the city as well. The way I'm travelling on it currently is west to east. It's also home of all of the majority of the theatres of the city. On the right there's a very famous spot here, Callao, and I believe there was a film or theatre premiere there tonight. It's a funny street because it's a bit there's just so many fast fashion, mid-restaurants, very kind of ordinary European sort of hub of capital. But the actual architecture of the buildings is really amazing. It's really opulent and beautiful. On the right here you just have the Puerta del Sol, which is the very centre of Spain in reality. It's where all of the major roads in Spain, they all convene here. It's kilometre zero. We're not going to go through Sol because it's been pedestrianised in recent years and it's an absolute nightmare to cycle through there. Again, it's another one of those kind of polarising places where people either love it or hate it. I think it's quite cool. It's a tourist hotspot, sure, it's the Leicester Square of Spain, but it is quite cool. They have a really old neon sign, the Tío Pepe sign, which has a really cool history attached to it that I quite like. I realised I have lent my camera to someone at the moment, so I'm without any additional photos on this video, so I'll include one of the Tío Pepe signs. So the reason why this sign is quite cool in my opinion, it first went up in 1936, and it was in Sol for many years until Apple, I believe, bought the building in which it was on top. They took it down. The city were, the residents were kind of devastated, so they came together, made petitions, and another building in Sol offered to host the sign. So then it returned. I think it was only gone for a couple of years, and then it returned to its prominent place in the centre of Spain in 2014. And I don't know, I just think it's quite cool that the community was able to come together and sort of rally behind bringing the sign back. It is a cool sign. So Sol is pretty much straight ahead, along with the Tío Pepe sign is just straight ahead there, past the gigantic inflatable bear. We've kind of gone around Sol and around the plaza. I don't know if you heard that. That's one of my favorite noises of Madrid, which is the like almost like bird chirping noise of the countdown for the pedestrian crossing. Yeah, sorry, my camera's kind of going crazy. I need to enable the flicker reduction. Apologies if that's a bit distracting. This street's also really nice, lots of bars, restaurants, but there's also always tons of people walking in the street, which I lived in London a lot of years. I'm very used to this, but it's a bit different because in Madrid, like, pedestrians walk on the pavement and everything else is in the road, you know? Of course, I'm all for pedestrians taking up more space than cars, but it definitely does just make me a little, like, I have a little bit more contempt for people walking in the street, because they know they shouldn't be there, and they should at least be paying attention if cars or whatever are coming. So you have to kind of like weave between them, but it's kind of fun, like a slalom. It's actually one of the things I quite like in Madrid because of the sort of like anti-jaywalking rules. It means it feels ever so slightly when you're like slightly safer when you're riding a bike, because you're not going to have people just suddenly walk out from behind a car or suddenly decide to cross the road. Cars are kind of wild here. They do, like, specifically taxis, as always, they do things that put you in danger, but at least with people not randomly stepping out in front of you, you sort of feel slightly safer, slightly more in control. Though obviously I'd like rather have someone step out in front of me than get hit by a car, so I don't know. I felt really bad for this Uber Eats driver. I suspect he's not been on a bike very long because he just seemed to have like zero confidence in filtering. But also, of course, due to the nature of the work, people have to rush in order to get paid, and thus they take risks. Risks which are institutionally normalised and rewarded and are not the individual's fault in any way. Just saying. So just to the right here is another major Madrid landmark, which is the Plaza Mayor. Again, really beautiful architecture, really worth taking a look at. Some other day, I'm sure I'll take you there. I always cut through here as well. Like, obviously you can stay on the road, but the easiest way to get to La Latina from here, or to the part that I want to go to, is to just cut through this little square full of people just dining and drinking. And I promise I was taking it easier than it looks like in this video. Again, another iconic street in Madrid here, Cava Baja, which is home to just so many amazing restaurants and bars. It's a little bit busy, it's a little bit touristy as well, but like, it's kind of for a reason, you know? Sorry for that little interlude there. I was actually going to stop originally there and go for a beer and kind of finish up the video. In the end, I ended up continuing on because it was super busy, and my bike got serenaded, which was really nice. Oof. I really hate using my bell, but also I really hate crashing into people, so, you know. Just ahead of me here is the Basilica de San Francisco, which is an absolutely incredible church that you also should visit. Used to be the main church in Madrid as well. Unfortunately, this is what I mean about the camera angle. I'm not so happy because you kind of can't see the landscape and what's going on around as much. So I might return to the bar mount setup, or I might find some way to like perch it on my shoulder like a parrot, give you a better view. Not too sure. But I hope you still enjoyed like the little tour through Madrid. Obviously, we saw just a fraction of the city. It was just a quick evening ride. I was kind of just planning on testing the camera mount, but figured might as well. And yeah, here we are arriving at the destination. Just this really nice little viewpoint that I come to pretty often. You can sort of, on a clear day, you can see the mountain range too. And yeah, of course, the Razesa looking absolutely glorious. I felt like I took a bit of a gamble buying this bike when I moved to Spain because I'd never actually heard of Razesa before. But it turned out they're like a real sort of high-end custom frame builder based out of Navarra in Spain. The original frame builder who started the company in the 1960s, I think in 1960, he's no longer building frames, unfortunately, but his son has taken over the business. And if you look up Razesa on Instagram, you can see some of the stuff he's currently building. So yeah, not quite a full bike check. We will get to that in the next videos, I promise. Thank you so much for watching again, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the little trip through Madrid. If there's anywhere else you'd like me to go or any other places to visit, do let me know in the comments. Next week's trip will be to a small town called El Pardo to the north of Madrid, following the river in the opposite direction to the one we did last week.